morning, everybody. I want to welcome all of you to this year's convocation. For the few of you who might not know me, I'm the Superintendent of Schools, Kevin Garrett. And this convocation has been going on for a few years. And the goal of the convocation is different every single year, but we try to make it different. And it's basically a time for us to get together, to start the year off right, to have a good time, to network, to hopefully learn a few things, and then to go back to our schools and move forward for the year. So again, it's great to see all of you. I look around the room, I've seen a lot of you this summer anyway, through curriculum work you've been doing, through summer school, through working in your buildings. It seems since I've been in education has turned much more into a full year gig that we're moving forward. And that to me is a good thing. I have to give one big thank you before we get started. It's been something I've been observing for the last month, and I think it's really important to give some recognition. Many of you, probably all of you at this point, have experienced the fact that we have a new phone system. Yeah, I hear some of those groans. It's something we've needed for a long while. Some of you have been lucky enough to have pretty much state-of-the-art phones in your schools. Other schools have not been that lucky. BFA has had a pretty antiquated system for years. Central office, I've joked all the time that I felt that 2 cans in a string can do a better job than the phones we have. And I swear there are times I've been looking up over the hill and seen smoke signals come out of Fairfield. So it's been time. We haven't been 911 compliant, and we've needed to do something. So a couple of years ago, as we merged, we felt certainly one issue around equity, which we talk about all the time, is to have not only equitable, but a good systemic phone system that works within our school system. And a lot of people have been working on that for 2 years. Martha Gagne, our business manager, myself, and especially our technology people. And it's taken a lot of time to get costs where we needed it, to make sure we had the right stuff, to ensure it's going to do what we want it to do, to ensure that we don't have to, when we want to call another school or another teacher, that we have to call an outside line to get something done. So we've got this system now where everyone will have extensions, everyone are on the same system, working together. Lots of new value added that I'm not going to get into, but you'll figure out yourself as you get trained. The challenge has been, as is often typically the case, we wanted to make sure we got it in by the beginning of the school year. And one group of people have been feeling a lot of pressure. They haven't said it to me, but I've seen it in their eyes, and when I phone them and listen to their voices, they've been feeling a lot of pressure because they feel the responsibility of getting all of that phone system set up, ready for you now. And while we're close, we're still not there. We still have challenges that come with a huge system such as this. But we are pretty close to it, and we're pretty close to it fully because of the responsibility and the work that's been put in by our technology people. So I would like to have you stand now and let you So a few introductions before we get going. Most of the introductions are done within your buildings as we get new teachers. But we also have some district staff that I want to make sure you're able to put a name and a face together who have changed this year. So I'd like to have them stand and recognized. First, we have a new curriculum director. The curriculum director is from Michigan. Has moved out here. He's living in St. Albans City. And we're very happy to have him, Mona Berry. We also have a new, old person who's taking over early childhood. I say that because she was with us for a few years and then moved down south and is now back with us. And we're excited to have her now as the director of early childhood. She's from Mississippi, right? And if you don't understand what she says, she'll translate. Melanie Bohr. So for Melanie to do that, we have some musical chairs going on. With Melanie coming up, and with the fact that Julie Regenbaugh, our special ed director, has been demoted to superintendent. She's up north now. We had to make some changes there. And it's a case of everything working out perfectly as we were able to move things around. So first off, both people you've known for a while. We have Joanne Wells, who is now our special ed director. And moving over from early childhood as assistant special ed director is Michelle Spence. I'd also like to introduce our school board. We have a wonderful 10-member school board. Now they can't all be here today because they're working people too. But they wish to be there. But I'd like you to be able to at least see them and see who they are. And we are lucky to have two of them here who I'll have stand when I mention their name. But I cannot say enough about this school board. It's a professional board who think about kids first. And they're serious. And they look at the system as a full system. And they don't think one school or another, or one grade or another. They think as a system. And it's just wonderful working with them. So you've got the names or at least you've got the faces up on the screen. I'll name them left to right, starting from the top. Our board chair, Jim Farr. Our assistant board chair, who's actually here, Mike Malone. In the second row down, Mildred Nella French, Al Shorty, Nina Hunsinger, and Steve LaRosa. And on the third row down, another person who's here, we're glad to have, is Jeff Morrow. Jack McCarthy, Sally Lindbergh, and Susan Katzfent-Magna. So thank you guys for coming, and thanks to the board. Jim Farr wishes he could be here. He's normally here as our chair, and usually has something to say, but work is taking him away this year. One more group I just want to mention, because this is a first for us, and in my estimation, it's a good first. And that is, we have some parents here today of our students. I'm under no delusions that they're here for convocation per se, but they're here to listen to see their kids, and I think it's great that they're here and seeing what this great group of people in the audience are like and what they're doing. So I'd like, if they may, I'd like to have our parents of our students stand up and be recognized. So the next picture I'm going to put up is just because we need a picture for a little while. But it's also a picture many of you know. It's us. And it's what you took last year, right in this room. And it's the Maple Run crew. And I think it's a great picture. And those of you who have it on your computers, you do all sorts of neat things. You can bring up your own face and whatever. We enjoy it. So I'm going to leave it up there for a moment. Before I begin, or I'm going to leave it up for a second, but before I begin, I really want to talk a little bit about our mission statement, because it has so much to do with what we are and who we are. I know you can read it, but I think the mission statement and the core values is so important, and they were created a couple years ago, and they were created specifically to make sure that it's not some document that's put on a shelf somewhere and never looked at. And the school board and I look at this and as we make decisions, and I think it's important for all of us. So while I know you can read it, I'm going to also mention it and say it so we can hear it also. The Maple Run Unified School District is where inquiring minds, compassionate hearts, creative expression, healthy lives, and service to the community develop so all can learn, achieve, and succeed. And our core values: children, first and foremost; safety and security; collaboration and relationships; joy and curiosity; relevance and rigor; independence and perseverance; flexibility and adaptability; respect and diversity; accountability and integrity. Those are powerful words, and they're important words. And I'm very proud that we follow those things in this district as we are working with our students. I'm always proud going into schools and seeing the mission statement somewhere easily seen as you walk into the schools, and that all the schools are the same. It's important. I also have to say, I'm really impressed with something with BFA. Is Dee Christie here? She must be. Dee, stand up. There she is, waiting back there. So Dee did something this year, and this was a last minute thing, and I hope it works. It did. Dee created that next to the mission statement of BFA. I'll let you read it. And that says so much. And Dee, thanks for doing that. You really added a good value added for that area. So while this is being fixed, I want to talk a little bit about today and how it fits into the mission statement. I really think a good mission statement and vision and beliefs will challenge and will push and pull everyone in an organization, and will challenge our beliefs and the way we do business. They've certainly done that for me, but they're also my foundation. And today's a perfect example of that. Thanks. In the spring, a proposal was brought to me where students would participate in convocation, giving their voice and actually using their skills to support us in our learning. So I have to admit, when it came to me, I was skeptical and I had some concerns. When I really analyzed that, thought about it, my concerns really centered on control and a lack of control for me. The convocation is my baby. I believe in it so much. I believe the idea of having people come together like this is so important. And I will admit that I like to structure convocation in a certain way. And what was requested was that I would not have that control, and I would give that control over. So I really thought long and hard about that. And eventually I went back to my foundation. And I looked at the mission, and I looked at the core values. And all of a sudden, when I looked at what they wanted to do, I could check off so many boxes if they were to do it. If you look at the mission statement, inquiring minds. These are students now who have gotten together, that we'll talk more about, who have thought about this, who have been making decisions about what this would look like, and problem solving. And they've created a piece of art, and they've choreographed, and they've done a narrative, creative narrative. They've written poems, they're singing music, they're written music. And eventually, after all of this, they're going to be out here in the audience serving their school community and working with you. So they really are learning, achieving, and succeeding. And when I looked at the core values, children, first and foremost, we're putting them first. We're putting them in the center of this convocation. They're collaborating. Today you'll see 6th graders and 12th graders who are from all of the schools who have worked together for a week. They've developed relationships. They'll be developing new, different relationships with you during this time. They're having fun. And you know what? Fun's not a dirty word in education. And they are enjoying themselves. And with it, they're learning. They're doing relevant stuff. They'll be talking about best practices that we've been looking at as a district around relationships and around areas of student leadership and student voice. It's certainly been rigorous. They've taken their last 5 days of valuable vacation time to make this happen. They've been independent. They're showing independence, and they've been given that independence to make this work. And they persevered through some of these problems and challenges to make it happen. And finally, I'd say they're proud of their accomplishments, and they want to be held accountable for what they've done. And I think this is all just wonderful. This isn't even talking about transferable skills and all of that we're going into. But they're doing so much in those ways. And how could I say no to that? I felt a little bit like a hypocrite, being concerned about some of the things I was concerned about when I looked at the mission and the core statement. It's truly a list of best practices, all rolled into 90 minutes. Best of all, the student learning that has occurred. So I'm reminded of this phrase, which most of you have seen somewhere along the way, because much of this is around engagement. And I always look at this. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn. Well, today they get involved and they're learning. And I've changed my mind. I think this is wonderful. And I hope you do too, as you hear the performance and as you work with the students afterwards. So, what are you going to see? You're going to see an original presentation created by 28 of our Maple Run students from 6th grade to 8th grade. The performance is anchored by 3 poems written by BFA student Alex Hay. And after the performance, the students will tell you a little bit about the process, and as leaders will facilitate the experiential activity that you could, if you wish, do back at your schools with your students. It's about student voice, it's about student leadership, it's about relationships. So without further ado, I give you our keynote performers, the Maple Run Speak Chorus.
Show me the way to move being the best you can be, working hard, speaking proud, and loving who you'll be. So, when I ask you to teach me to lead, I don't want you to tell me that leaders and followers are preordained. For the very best leaders in all the world know when their guidance is needed, when their talent can assist for everyone's gain.
But understand that others must take their place and they are more qualified to be leaders.
Teach me to lead. Turn, turn, turn.
A man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest.
I got to thinking it over how I've missed.
We always did feel the same. We just saw it from a different point of view.
And it's been the ruin of many a poor boy.
Yeah, he's right.
Hey, I am a poor boy, though my story is seldom told. I have squandered my resistance for a pocket full of mumbles, such are promises.
He's right. He's right.
Wait! If you follow me in this mystery, we can swim inside these clouds. We're gonna be miles up, up, up. No, we're never gonna come down.
So the years spin by and now the boy is 20, though his dreams have lost some grandeur coming true.
But there'll be new dreams, maybe better dreams, and plenty.
Because I have a hammer and I have a bell. So teach your children well.
Works of art, we're falling stars.
We're fire, waiting for a spark.
Yeah.
Miles.
No, we're never going to come down.
I am a tall, slim frame, made for reaching high and moving far. 2 legs, made for running, endurance, power, speed. 2 hands, made for creating, learning, fixing. 2 eyes, to see the world, to see the leader I could be. 2 arms, for holding others, comforting, lifting them from the ground. And I have a mind for school and learning, yet also for memorizing lines, a mind for tone and invocation, yet also remembering the speed to move my feet, a mind for working through hardship, pain, yet also for analyzing, critiquing, improving. And I have a soul for loving others and to give people strength, a soul for empathetic acting, yet one strong enough to fight through a 5K. So many people are just like me, with the capacity for so many identities. They can run, climb, swim, jump, but they still love to act, sing, dance, and they want to learn, repair, create. But the platforms which they stand on are divided, shaking, pulling apart from each other. Until your future is decided by which one you stand on or if you fall into the void. So why can't we make these platforms connect, talk to each other, say let's figure it out, let's work on it together. Because choices will always need to be made. But if people can stand on more platforms, express themselves in more ways, we can learn who we really are, grow, learn, metamorphosize through change. For if everyone has a platform to stand on, their lives can truly change, and others can see the leader in you, the leader you're meant to be.
Turn,
just as easily disappear, along with whatever meaning you might have found.
Don't let uncertainty turn you around.
This is the start.
This is the start of something, something, something,
Something beautiful.
beautiful.
We're in a large clearing, open and free. So we need a foundation, a place to live together in peace. So we start our construction of a house to shelter us all. But we need materials: wood, stone, bricks, or concrete. Something, anything, from someone, anyone. And together we have what it takes.
Yet we need tools. Hammers for our nails, drills for our screws, and wrenches for our bolts. But we can't find them, much less someone who knows how to use them.
We decide to mow the grass. Make it tidy, orderly, working together to grow. Instead of choking each other with sunlight. So we need sharp blades for our mower. Blades that can cut, that can make the grass equal, make it orderly, precision. Rather than beating it to the ground, not changing its length, just breaking its spirit. So we need someone to give us sharp blades.
We stand in the clearing, the foundation made. You have the tools to help us. We have the materials you need. Together we can build our house as sturdy as can be. And if you teach your tools to us, the house will be complete. Share your tools, the ones required to finish the shelter we need.
And someday, the tools you gave us will pass on to the next workers, and they can use them to build a new house, better than the last. Teach us not to be bystanders. Teach us to stand up for ourselves, to live our lives to the fullest, to dream, inspire, be brave, to have confidence, speak with others, learn, and listen well. So show us the tools to use when it comes our turn to inspire. We'll pass our knowledge down the line, the tools to create, repair, and lead.
Hear my words, hear my words, hear my words.
That I might teach you.
The slow one now will later be fast.
As the present now will later be past.
The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be last. For the times they are changing. My story is seldom told.
I once was lost, but now I'm found.
It's knowing that your door is always open.
And your path is free to walk.
Yeah!
We're gonna be miles.
No!
We're never gonna come down.
This is the start.
This is the start of something, something, something.
Of something beautiful.
Beautiful! This is the start of something beautiful! I am resilient. I trust the movement.
supports its students so much that it's willing to have this as our keynote. It's just so remarkable, and I just feel incredibly grateful. To talk a little bit about what this experience has been like for them and what this process was.
Hello everyone. So we would love to give you all some insight on the piece we just performed for you.
Back in June, we had a day-long workshop where we got together and talked about what it takes to be a leader and what we wanted to perform to you all today.
We brainstormed ideas to show that students need a platform for expression.
So we created a question to express our own theme, which Aiden will now know.
How do we foster leadership skills by giving students both the practical tools and a platform for expression?
So to bring that theme to life, Joan had the brilliant idea of making a speaking chorus. And she got together Aram and Molly and Susan to collaborate. And when they had an idea, they got all of us together for the day-long workshop.
So during that day-long workshop, we decided that we wanted our lyrics and our words to be lyrics from folk songs. So we broke up into smaller groups and sifted through hundreds of folk songs to try to find lyrics that stood out to us to help hammer home our theme. And we also had a student, Alex, who wrote 2 beautiful poems for us that we just did 3 beautiful poems for us that we were able to present for you.
I think when we first got the script for our speaking chorus, we were kind of confused because we've never done something like this before. We've normally done plays. So this has been an amazing experience, especially since I think for a lot of us it's our last year at elementary school. So it's kind of like really, really special.
And of course, we got the script this Monday. We've been working all week to have all of our ideas on how we can move symbolically come into play, and we all had our voices heard, and we collaborated on this project. It's been a wonderful experience. So thank you so much for allowing us this opportunity to express ourselves, and it really means the whole world. And now I'd like to introduce Joan Cavallo to talk about the next activity that we're going to do, and thank you so much.
So if you don't mind, I'm going to give the students a chance to get to the back, and if the adults who are pairing up at the circles could head to the back so that you can meet each other before you have to do your work. We're just going to give them a minute to set up, because we're going to try and do an experiential activity with 500 people at once. Okay? And it's going to be led by our students, and they have no fear whatsoever, so don't worry about that. They're so ready. We just need to give them a chance to set up. All right. So, my job is to sort of give you the story as to why we picked this activity, why we picked this whole setup, and why student leadership. So I think many of you remember in March that we all came together for a day, you were here with us last year, that we all came together for a day throughout the district. We stayed in our own schools, but we did the same activity. We had teacher leaders that were trained, and we went back to our schools, and it was all around student leadership. I'll try and follow my slides, I usually don't. So, what we thought of student leadership was really around addressing the social emotional needs of our students. And how do we look at student leaders differently? Rather than a few, how about how many could be? And that's when we partnered up with a group called the Center for Creative Leadership, or CCL. Last summer, there were 5 of us that went to check it out. Mary Roulette and Sarah Beatty, John Coffey, Shannon Warden, and I. And we loved their tools. So we wanted to bring them back to you. So we decided we'd partner. What we didn't realize is we would become the pilot for the state of Vermont. And that's what the Maple Run District is. So you're going to see a lot more of this. We hope you're enjoying it. So anyhow, the thing we liked about CCL is they talked about leadership for students as leading themselves taking responsibility for themselves, that was first. That collaboration was a real form of leadership. And that then some people will change the world. But if we can all do the first two, then we can have amazing, successful lives. So we like that message, and we wanted to bring it back and have that be the way that we start to think about leaders and leadership. So you know right now that we're doing our PLPs and that we have our transferable skills. And the one thing we asked for CCL was, could you link this to transferable skills for us so that it makes sense in our own teaching, other things that we have to do, rather than being one more thing that wow, great, just where we fit it in. And they've been doing that with us. So in March, you got 3 skills. You got to see the Explore cards when you did the What is Leadership. You got to try the gyro rings when you did the growth mindset. And you all had to row a rowboat in directional alignment commitment. Well, today we have what is probably my absolute favorite CCL activity. The gyro ring would have been if I had ever gotten it to work, but my frustration level was way too high. This one has a similar level of difficulty, but the difference is you get to work with a group to figure it out. And I like that a lot better. So I'm hoping you're going to enjoy our activity. This one is around something called mental models. So I want to do a really quick explanation of what mental models are so it makes sense as to how that is a skill that links with this activity. Everything that I'm doing right now for you is available in a packet that you can pick up in your library. So if you like this, you can do this with your students. So mental models, if you think about when we're teaching reading to students, we talk about their schema. It's all the stuff they know that they bring to the table when we're reading a story. And mental models are the same things. It's all the stuff we know. It's the patterns we learn in our lives. It's all the things that we think about when we think about things in life. So mental models are going to be influencing the way we see the world and the way we see just about everything that we do. They can be really positive, they can be really helpful, they can give us context, they make something easier to learn, and they can stand in our way and be the box we can't get out of. So it's got 2 different folds to it, and you kind of need to understand both of them. So as leaders, we want to embrace the mental models that help us move quicker and understand more, and we want to challenge the ones that keep us stuck. So, in order to understand it, I wish you all had paper and pencil, but you don't. So I want you to just be creative and use your mind. I'm going to give you a task. Okay? The task is going to come up on the screen. And I'm going to tell you what it is, and I'm going to give you 1 minute to see if you can do it. And you can collaborate. It's not a test. Okay. Here's 9 dots. Can you connect these 9 dots without taking your finger off with 4 lines? So 4 lines, they can cross one another, but you can't lift the pen. And see if in your mind you can do this. And I'm going to give you and if you have the answer, you can raise your hand. Do you have the answer? Okay, Jen, what would you do? Here you go. I'm going to let Jen tell us what she would do.
Okay, I think I would go down the left side, across the bottom, up the right side. Oops, that's not.
Okay, I won't make it painful. Okay, in order to connect them, this is one way you can connect them, but you can't connect them if you're not willing to leave the box. So it's a really cool little thing. And this slideshow is available for you, so if you want to take this and cut it up and use it with kids, you're welcome to. So basically, we're going to now use another activity. And the activity we're going to use is the one that we all, the 5 of us that went to this training last summer, loved. And we really wanted to save that one, and we finally got CCL to write us the whole kind of like curriculum that goes with it. It's like a 7-page document that explains basically what I just did. And they did that for us. And so this is going to be, when the students are done, they're going to put everything back to their kids. They're going to be in your libraries. It's going to be some in every school. So let's talk about what you need to know. So you're not going to leave your chairs or start talking or start looking at who has the same number until I'm done. Okay? All right. So on all of your badges, thank you, Brenda, you each have a number. That is your circle number. When you go back to where the students are, and they're on both sides as well, there's a number from 1 to 25 on an orange cone in the center of the circle. Please stand right next to the circle, but not in the circle, and you're going to join a group and you're going to meet 25 people chosen at random by an alphabetical order. Okay? You're going to get 20 minutes once I give the official time. So I'm going to be the official timer, and I'm going to give you 20 minutes. But you're going to see 2 other timers up there. Because when I tell you you can leave to go to your circle, you're going to have 3 minutes to get there. And then your circle leaders are going to have a few minutes to just introduce everybody in the circle. And then I'm going to start the 20-minute timer. You need 20 minutes. I've yet to see this done by a group in less. Okay? So, at the end of the 20 minutes, I'm going to stop you, and you're going to have to stop. And the student facilitators have 2 facilitation questions they want you to kind of work through that'll help you explore the process. This is the exact same way that you would do it with students. Okay? Then we're going to return to our seats, and Dr. Murphy is going to close out this section for us. So, do not move yet, because we don't know the rules. All right. So the task, there are 30 pictures, and you need to put them in some order. Now, I've done this with my staff, and I've done this with Fairfield, but not these pictures. And I know BFA did them, and they didn't use these pictures. And when we did it, there was no right answer. There's a right answer there, and it's not easy. Just so you know. Okay? So your objective is to place the pictures in order. You're going to have 20 minutes, and success is going to come from using the perspectives in your group. And those are the transferable skills it connects to. So here are the rules. Everyone is outside the circle. When you're outside the circle, you don't touch anything. One person at a time can go in the circle, and they can touch stuff. But to go in the circle, you have to hold your breath. And you can only stay in for as long as you can hold your breath. If, while you are in there, you're doing an amazing job of holding your breath, and someone on your team outside your circle speaks, you're out. Everyone goes once, no one can go twice until everyone on their team has gone once. And you can do all of the talking and collaborating you want when no one's in the circle. Once someone goes in the circle, you can no longer talk, but you can use all kind of pantomime and hand signals. Okay? So, are you ready? Are you willing? All right.
So, thumbs up, thumbs down. How many people enjoyed the exercise? Congratulations to everybody. It was great to see all that collaboration and the thought that went into this. I do have some closing thoughts. The student performance talked about the start of something beautiful and how working together we can make anything happen. Or as they put it, roar. As a district, we're embarking on a journey to help every student see themselves as a leader of themselves, able to work together, and sometimes even changing their world. Today, our students model all 3. in both their performance and in facilitation of the circle activity. As was previously said, putting together a performance like this touches on each of the transferable skills that we want every student to possess. The adults that supported this process provided the tools and opportunity, and our students made the most of it. Thanks also goes to each of you for supporting our students. I want to make that very, very clear. What you saw here isn't done in a vacuum. No one person or several people can in 5 days do what was done here. It starts early, in pre-kindergarten, in kindergarten, and upward. Every single person in this room has had a part of what you saw here today. And I feel very, very strongly about that, because it's through you that they've come to this point so far. The circle activity you just experienced is another tool that we hope you will find useful in building relationships with and among the students. Experiential learning allows us to get to know not only the task, but each other. The kits that the students used will be in each school library so that each of you will have access to them as we start a new school year. By the way, the kids wanted an answer key, so that's in the kit too. We hope you found this useful and fun, and it looks like you did. We look forward to providing you with more tools throughout the years, and we want to create more opportunities for students to demonstrate what you taught them. There are many people I want to thank for this, because while it wasn't done in a vacuum, there were many people involved in the last few months. Joanne Chambers, thank you for being here to support our meeting. Brenda Comstock, I don't know what I do without you for the last minute program work. Dan Deloria and Mark Holden for getting our sets here. Tim Beans and Dave Kimmel for creating our circles, helping us set up and make us feel welcome. Mitch Craig for our photography throughout this week and today. Alan Steele for supporting our technology needs. Doug Bell and Gene Heinrich for making sure our sound worked and our students could be heard. Molly Hartman and Aaron Masudian for being such amazing collaborators and bringing the music to life, even when the students decided on a new song that was never heard of on Tuesday for a Friday performance. They gave their theater and music talents willingly to support our students. Susan Palmer for the amazing theatrical talent, energy, and willingness to help. Joan Cavallo for facilitating the facilitators and greasing the wheels to make sure it happens. And finally, to our students, thank you for bringing your best self forward, giving of your talents, working so beautifully together, being inclusive and supportive. So I guess since we're in a different activity now, I need to make a change. I would like to bring up here now to talk Katie Campbell and the new president of the Vermont Educators Association, Don Tinney.
I'm much shorter. Good morning, Maple Run Unified School District and Maple Run Education Association. Thank you all so much for wearing your red shirts. We're very excited to have those this morning. I'm up here today with the honor and the privilege of introducing a very special guest speaker to you. I was very excited when Don Tinney accepted my invitation to come and speak to you all today. I thought I wasn't going to have to get up here and talk, and then he said I had to introduce him, so I didn't really get out of this. However, he really requires little to no introduction to all of you in this room today, but I do feel that it would be helpful to provide you all with a quick bit of background, and you may learn something new about Don that you didn't know already. From a personal standpoint, I've known Don Tinney my whole life. He lives in South Hero. Our families have property on the same lakefront. Don's a great neighbor, if you have permission to be on his beach. I think that we do. My kids are there often. He doesn't yell at them. From a professional standpoint, Don is making a major, Dr. Dirk just spoke about it, transition. For the first time in 31 years, Mr. Tinney is not getting his classroom ready. You did not see him at BFA orientation. He's not participating in in-service days except ours today, thank you. And he shared with me actually that when it's time for lunch, he still looks for someone to tell that he's going to lunch, and there's no one to tell. He just gets to go to lunch when he's ready for lunch. And he's actually getting used to having more than 23 minutes. So I have a package of pens to give Mr. Tinney this morning. If you know Don from BFA, you know that if you ever need a writing implement, Mr. Tinney's room is the place to go. My son has taken part in taking a pen from Don at times. I know that even though he won't have students to give pens to, there are plenty of adults on his board meetings and his panel discussions that will need pens as well. So I want him to take the pens today. And he's wearing a shirt. We needed to give him a shirt because he will always be an honorary member of the Maple Run EA. Professionally, in addition to teaching all of those years, Don was involved in education in Vermont in a variety of ways. I'm going to share some of those with you, but probably not all of them. I don't want to cut into Don's time to speak to you all too much. He served as president of the Vermont Council of Teachers of English for 4 years. In 2011, Don was appointed by the Commissioner of Education to serve on the Vermont Task Force on Teacher and Leader Effectiveness. He worked there to write the state guidelines for teacher evaluation systems that was adopted by the state of Vermont in 2012. He served on the Vermont Standards Board for Professional Educators for 4 years, 2 of which he was board chair. Don was both president and grievance chair for local associations in which he was a member. Don served on the National Education Association Board of Directors for 3 years. And I would like today to welcome Mr. Don Tinney, the 115th president of the Vermont National Education Association, to speak to us today.
Thank you, that's right. I am the 115th president of Vermont NEA. Last time I checked, 115 is much larger than 45. I knew a couple of you. Thank you, Katie, for your introduction and your kind words. More importantly, thank you for your service to Vermont NEA and your local association. I have said for years that the heavy lifting of our organization really happens at the local level, where the work never ends and you all have day jobs. You're one of the longest longest-serving association leaders in the state and have provided extraordinary leadership for Maple Run EA. And I know your colleagues appreciate your work and all that you do. This district is well known for providing leaders who have served Vermont educators for years. For example, ZATEC's Helen Lanthier spent the last 6 years driving down to the Agency of Education once a month to represent teachers on the Vermont Standards Board for Professional Educators. Now, if you ever needed a reason to thank Helen or to give her a big hug, she was on the board when they dismantled the cumbersome relicensing portfolio system that gave so many of us nightmares. BFA's Pat Thompson serves on the Vermont NEA Board of Directors and has been very much involved with our professional development efforts, particularly in elevating para-educators and other support personnel to the level of respect they so richly deserve. And most recently, Mike Campbell has stepped up to be part of the statewide bargaining team that will begin negotiating health care benefits for all school personnel in Vermont over the next year. I am proud to be your colleague. It was an honor and a privilege to work with all of you for 16 years, and it is now an honor and a privilege to work for all of you in my new role. As president, my job is to serve you in your efforts in doing the amazing work that you do every day. Our UNICERT directors, our attorneys, our communications director, our organizers, our coordinator of professional benefits, and our administrative staff are all at the ready to support you and stand in solidarity with you. You are Vermont NEA. Speaking of solidarity, the red t-shirt has become a symbol of solidarity for educators and a symbol for the need to invest in public education across the United States. I have to say, you all look stunning in red. The only thing missing on those t-shirts is the Maple Run employee mantra. I don't know, you better call Jermaine. Thank you, Jermaine, and all the folks down in the central office who keep the wheels moving. The torch of the Red for Ed movement was lit by our sisters and brothers in West Virginia, Oklahoma, Colorado, Arizona, North Carolina, and Kentucky, who had the courage to stand up, walk out of their classrooms, and march into their state capitals to demand adequate funding for public schools and fair compensation for all educators. Their work is not finished, but they made great strides by coming together for one common cause and by building strong coalitions with parents, administrators, and community leaders. Public education is a common good that we must invest in so that all students attend the schools they deserve. Public education is the foundation of our democracy. Investing in schools means that we are investing in children. Investing in children means that we are investing in our future. The Red for Ed Education Spring is not just a moment in time. It has become a real movement. Unlike the moment in time known as Occupy Wall Street, we educators have an organization and a structure to match our commitment to adequately funding all public schools. We can't be satisfied to rouse people for a single high-profile rally or march. We need to be involved with sustained advocacy. Your union is the organization that will carry on this struggle. With over 3 million members, the National Education Association is the largest labor union in the nation. With 14,000 members and over 90 local affiliates, Vermont NEA is the largest labor union in the state. Our union can grow power and influence independent of any other institution in the community, as long as our members are engaged. As a columnist for the Sunday New York Times wrote in May 2018, strong unions provide more than just wage increases and protection from arbitrary bosses. They provide a kind of social glue, making members feel invested in a larger mission and promoting a sense of solidarity. The strength of our solidarity allows us to work for decent wages for all workers so that they can provide for themselves and their families and then enjoy their retirement in dignity. Labor unions have the collective power to fight for what is right. That's why the corporate ownership class wants to destroy organized labor. We are not paranoid. They are out to get us. The Supreme Court Janus decision is just another chapter in the long-term playbook of the millionaires without morals with their well-funded efforts to diminish our voice and continue their march of unfettered power and greater income inequality. We must use our collective power to fight against the corporate ownership class who want to not only destroy the balance of power in the workplace, but also the balance of power in the public conversation we know as democracy. The corporate elites know that organized labor is the last powerful group of citizens who can effectively fight against their reactionary policies of recent years. They are afraid of our unity and are afraid of our power. Organized people will win over money every time, especially when those organized people are fighting for children and their families. These are indeed challenging times for all of us, and we can find it easy to be agitated or discouraged. But as our old friend Bernie Sanders always says, we can't afford despair and we can't afford to be angry. Hope is our only option. As educators, our reason to hope is always right in front of us, our students. We are surrounded by our mission, our purpose, and our reason for going to work every day, our kids. Attorney Barry Stevenson, the author of Just Mercy, learned a valuable lesson from his grandmother. You can't understand most of the important things from a distance, Brian. You have to get close, she told him. You are close to your students. You know your students. You know what they need. You know their stories. You are the adults who know the students by their first names. When you walk into your classrooms, you do not see per pupil costs. You see real human beings with needs, wants, and desires. When you walk into your classroom, you don't try to figure out the staff-to-student ratio. You immediately start figuring out how to best support these young learners as they begin to take on the world. They might be smaller and a whole lot younger than we are, but they are the same as we are. Just because they're little doesn't mean they are any less important than the adults in the community. Just because they're little doesn't mean they don't know what is going on in the world around them. Just because they're little doesn't mean they don't deserve to be protected from harm the way political leaders in their limos are protected. Just because they're little doesn't mean that their hearts don't break and that their hearts don't long for love and joy. Just because they're little doesn't mean they don't have real dreams and plans. And because they are little, they need us to be their advocates, their protectors, their champions. The long arc of the moral universe will not bend toward justice all by itself. We must take risks, reach out and hold on to bend that arc for our students, so that in their lifetimes they shall experience social justice, racial justice, and economic justice. They shall know a life of freedom to be who they are and live their lives knowing that we are all equal. It is up to us. If we don't stop the bullying, who will? If we don't teach our boys to treat girls and women with respect, fairness, and equality, who will? If we don't teach our students how to accept, honor, and celebrate the rich diversity in our communities, who will? If we don't lift our collective voices to demand that all students have access to education and unlimited opportunities, who will? This is hard work. Over my 31 years of teaching, I never noticed it getting easier, but I could always rely on my colleagues for support. My union sisters and brothers, you can be fierce and feisty, tenacious and tough, but I also know you are compassionate and kind, consoling and considerate, playful and protective. I know you will take care of each other and do what you need to do to take care of yourselves and your students. You will engage and inspire each other and lift each other up. You will exercise your power with compassion and exert your strength with dignity. Your students will love to go to school because they know that they are loved there. Every child, every day, will feel loved in your school. A kind word from a custodian, a good morning from an administrative assistant, a soft-spoken explanation from a maintenance worker while he fixes a student's locker, or a corny joke from the IT technician while a keyboard is fixed, will all contribute to the student's sense of belonging in your school. You may not say the words, "I love you," but you will show them every day. You have dedicated your lives to the children and youth of your communities. For many of your students, you may be the only adult who listens to them, the only adult who makes eye contact with them, the only adult who says their name with kindness and respect. Never doubt that you make a difference. Your work is fundamental to your students, your community, and to the entire state of Vermont. You are important individually and collectively. You make a difference. You live lives of compassion, caring, and commitment. The students of Maple Run Unified School District are lucky to have you here. Thank you for all you do. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Don. We have a couple of awards to give for lunch. One award we've never given before, but I heard something the other day, ironically from Jermaine, who had mentioned to me that there was a person in this district last year who had 100% perfect attendance. No time off whatsoever, not even an hour to go to the bank, to get sickness or anything. And I thought it was amazing. It was rare. And I feel very strongly that it should be recognized. So, at this point, I would like to have City School staff member Mary Cronin come up. Well, congratulations, Mary. The next award is given out each year. It's the Superintendent's Leadership Award. And it's up? Okay. Well, no, I'm talking about the criteria. So I'm not going to read this to you, but this is the Superintendent's Leadership criteria. And it was expanded several years ago that we wanted to recognize one person in the whole school district, and it could be any person, support staff, teacher, paraprofessional, one specific person who was felt very strongly deserved this award with this criteria. Don, you move things on. So, I'd like that person to come up, and at that point, I would like to read some information that was given to me by her colleagues. Yes, it's her. And so she could hear the great things that are being said. From SATEC, Lorna Johnson. So I hope you all appreciated the little teaser I gave you earlier on. It was all intentional. So this is what I heard about Lorna. It gives us great pleasure to nominate Lorna Jerome for the 2018 Superintendent Award. Lorna is beginning her 22nd year at SATEC. As the administrative assistant to the principal and school registrar, she is invaluable to all aspects of the school. To say that Lorna is the heart and soul of our school would be an understatement. Lorna is the first face and voice to greet our new students and their families. After her first meeting, she will know their names and the names of their siblings. Families instantly feel connected to SATEC at a personal level because of the way they're greeted by Lorna on each and every visit to our school. Families will often share sensitive information with Lorna that they are uncomfortable sharing with a teacher, but know will be important for the school team. For all things families need, Lorna is most frequently their go-to person. Lorna's dedication and service to the families of SATEC know no bounds. A perfect example of her commitment to the students occurred last year. A family member arrived at the school at 5 p.m., wondering where their middle school child was, and as soon as staff called Lorna to see if she'd heard about any change of plans for that afternoon, Lorna left a Zumba class at the complex to drive to school to help. It turns out the student was at her friend's house, but nobody knew, and when Lorna saw that student walking home, she brought the student to school where they could meet with the family and administration to talk about how it was concerned for the decision being made. At any hour of any day, Lorna will give anything to support the students that she serves. Lorna is incredible at all aspects of her job. One of the most amazing things is the efficiency with which she handles the volume of requests that get brought to her. In a matter of minutes, she will shift from registering a new student to helping a crying child separated from their parent to cover a missed lunch duty. There's a saying around the office: before you ask Lorna to assist you with a project, make sure you have it right, because by the time you turn around, it will be done. Every staff member can count on Lorna to support them in doing their job better. They can also count on Lorna to remember the little things that make SATEC staff more than co-workers, but family. Things like their children's birthdays, and major milestones in their lives. She is the first to congratulate when there is a success, and she is the first to lend a sympathetic ear when there is sadness. Lorna is the heart and soul of our school. Her generous smile, her warm laugh, her ability to make everyone feel at home, and her unwavering service to our families make her worthy of this award. Congratulations, Lorna. That ends our session. I hope it was a good session for you. I hope you get something out of it. I certainly enjoyed our students immensely. Now it's time to eat. Feel free to go into the other room for lunch and have a great, great school year.